Welcome back to The Good Mood with The Good Dude, where in this episode I am going to be kid bashing my Blood Bowl Kroxigor with blue stuff. The Kroxigor was a made-to-order model that was available for the week where you could pre-order the Guacamole Crater Gators. But it is an old metal model, and it doesn't have as much detail as these new plastic sculpts. So what I want to do is kit bash the Kroxigor with some of the parts from this kit. But I don't want to take them out of this kit and then not be able to use them in the kit. So what I'm going to do is make some copies. I'm going to try to make some copies using this stuff. Once I build this guy, I'll go through and show you some of the pieces that I want to use to embellish this metal model, because I'm trying to enter this into a painting competition. So my local Warhammer store has a painting competition every 3 months. Maybe they all do, I don't know. And the next competition is coming up at the end of the month. And I mean, I'm not an excellent painter by any stretch of the imagination. You know, I paint for the joy of painting. But it's always fun to challenge yourself and meet some other painters and get some advice and get some feedback. So, let's get cracking. I have cleaned up all the pieces of the metal kit, and I'm ready to start using the blue stuff. Now I'm thinking of using the blue stuff to cast copies of 3 pieces from this sprue. The first thing is going to be this Blood Bowl token, and the reason I want to copy that is I think it would be really cool if on the base part of this design, either that side or that side, this, you know, just maybe a quarter of it or a half of it on one part of the base with then some tiles, Aztec looking tiles next to it. So that's going to be one piece. The next piece is going to be this headdress. So I want to use this headdress on the head. So it'll be like that, just to add a little bit of detail. And if you look at the Kroxigor on the Blood Bowl computer game, you will see that it has something kind of like that going on the head. And the last piece I want to copy is one of these, necklace things. I've got my blue cup full of blue stuff. Whoa! These are actually quite hot now. Let's work this into a bit of a mold kind of shape. Okay, I think that you have to work pretty fast with this stuff. Let's grab this piece. Gonna push that down into there. It's time to open up and inspect these molds. Now you'll notice they are different molds, so I redid them just because when I opened the back up, they didn't quite look right. So they've been sitting under very heavy objects for 24 hours. Let's see how they look. Not bad. The back probably doesn't look quite as nice, but I mean, it looks pretty good. So there won't be that much. There's a bit of cleanup involved, getting this flashing off, but otherwise I'm happy with that. And let's take a look at the next ones. Ooh. Why did that happen? Okay, so that did not come out quite as nicely on that side, but on the face down side it looks pretty good. looks pretty good too. Alright, so it's been a couple of days of putting this guy together, but I've now finished kit bashing and embellishing him. So you can see that I used 3 pieces from the Blood Bowl Lizardmen kit to kit bash this guy. So there's the little necklace thing, there's the headdress, and then there's this pauldron, which was a one of the Saurus heads, one of the parts of the Saurus heads. And then I did some extra sculpting, so gave him some extra little bracelets and anklets and a spiky tail, added on extra tags. I'll show you the book in a minute, just to show you that the way that the art is for these guys currently in the current generation, you know, they got a lot of stuff going on these models, and you know, there just wasn't that kind of detail and those extra elements on this earlier Kroxigor. So I really wanted to capture the busyness of the new kits, and I think I've done that pretty well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it will look like when it's all painted up, but that's going to be the next stage. Hello and welcome back to The Good Mood with the Good Dude. Some time has passed since I started filming this episode. When I started filming this episode, it was a different world we were living in. It was pre-COVID-19, and under the lockdown conditions, I decided I really needed to get my act together and to finish this episode. So how did the Kroxigor build go? Well, I will show some photos of the finished product taken in my light box, which will give you a better idea than what I could do if I just showed it sort of on the camera. And I submitted it into 2 painting competitions. The first painting competition was not the one I intended to submit it to. It was Crystal Dragon, which takes place in CanCon, which is I suppose, international competition, painting competition that takes place within Australia. It seems to be the major painting competition. And when I took my entry into this competition and I saw the quality of the entries, I thought, is there any reason to submit mine? Because it looks like junk compared to what these other people are putting in. I put my entry in anyway, and it did not place as I expected given what I saw. I mean, there were some phenomenal entries that did not place in this competition, so I didn't feel so bad about that. And that wasn't what I was planning on entering it into anyway. The competition that I had been planning on entering the Kroxigor into was my local Warhammer store having they have every 3 months a painting competition called Golden Brush, I believe is what they call it. And after failing at this Crystal Dragon, which I expected, I went into the Warhammer store and took my entry and submitted it there. And I did much better, as you might expect, at a local competition compared to an international one. Yeah, and it turned out that my entry actually won, which was very nice. And I don't know how much the deck was sort of stacked in favor of me being a kind of new person to the club that they wanted to encourage. They did have an outside judge, so potentially it really was the best entry, but in any case, that was very nice. And when I talked to the store manager and we talked through the things that he did and didn't like about the model, or the things that he liked and the things that he thought that I could improve upon, that was really nice. He was very, very encouraging. So I was super happy about that. I mean, it's funny now looking back on it, because I think that my painting has gotten better in the last few months. And so when I look at this model, even though I put so much time into it, there are lots of things that I think I could have done a lot better. But that's to be expected. In any case, so that's the sort of story wrapping up what happened to the Kroxigor model. Okay, well, I hope to produce more videos than I have been. What else is there to do under these lockdown conditions other than produce videos? Things are going fairly well with my Blood Bowl diorama. Well, I might do an update about that and sort of state of play. So I'm the good dude. This has been the good mood, and I will see you in the future. Thanks.